Alright, so this project this time is going to be taking this 1991 Gibson ES 165 Herb Ellis and adding a second pickup with a three-way switch and another volume and tone control to it. And the object is to turn it into an ES 165 Plus, which is almost identical, or I can't tell a difference between that and an ES 175. So here we go. We've got to get things taken apart. But one of the first things I wanted to do was to put some tape down so that I could find exactly where to center the new pickup. But as you can see, we're rapidly dismantling the guitar. Definitely took a lot longer than this, but for the ease of viewing, this is the way we're going to do it. So here's the PAF 57 Classic that I found on eBay. So we'll put that in the bridge position right there. And I picked up some other stuff. There's the pickup rings that we're going to use. All kinds of parts on eBay. So again, taping down some places where we're going to put the pickup, hopefully. You'll see here in a second that there is a bracing inside that luckily I discovered before I just started hacking at it. There's what the knobs are going to look like. I decided to go with the all parts, those real thick, I forget what they're called. They look cool. And then I did find some real Gibson genuine pots, 500K, that I'll be using for the volume and the tone. There's a little shot of my three-way switch. Found it in gold, and I'll center that up in that spot. We'll talk about that later. The new pots will go down. I have looked at the ES 175 and approximately where those knobs will go. Alright, so let's get this thing the rest of the way apart. And rapidly pulling things out, and look at the weird jack there. I hadn't seen one like that before. But this is the original tone volume circuitry from the 165 Herb Ellis, and there's a little shot of the vitamin Q capacitor that I'm going to throw in there for the tone on the bridge pickup using that there potentiometer. Alright, so got to throw down a little bit more tape here so we can see where that'll go. And I did want to scope out inside and look at that bracing, and it turns out that when I cut that pickup, that bracing will be right at the edge of where the pickup mounts, and you'll see that here in a little bit. Alright, got this handy dandy Dremel tool here. It's pretty exciting turning that thing on and digging into a somewhat expensive guitar, but I had a lot more control than using a router. So that's what we did. First time I've used it on the guitar. I use it on all kinds of other stuff, but away we go, hacking away. Alright, let's take a closer look here. It's a little bit kind of rough right now, but got the hole in. Have to put the little notches for the ears. There's that brace right there. Alright, and then I want to show you, this is how I was going to center up the volume control for the bridge. Is going to go right in between the F hole and the edge of the guitar. Let's drill some holes here. Another risky business. Not too bad, turned out great. And I had to line up, looking at a picture of an ES 175, I matched that fret. Is right about where we're going to put the three-way switch, and then it is pretty well centered in the radius. If you picture that as a circle, put that right in the middle. I'm going to suck out extra sawdust and crap that is in there. Give it a quick wipe down. It's looking pretty good. No big disasters as of yet. It's kind of nice. There's the holes, how they turned out. Hole for the three-way switch. Looking pretty good. Alright, I laid out the pots in the shipping compartment. or container that I got some of the stuff in. There's the original Gibson pickup, and then there's the 57 Classic. We'll be soldering that into the volume pot, and we'll grab the capacitor, that vitamin Q, and that'll go in between volume and the tone pot. Luckily, with the help of the interwebs, found a nice little wiring diagram that helped out immensely. And there was an alternate wiring, which I ended up not doing. Thought I was going to do it, but I ended up just wiring it just like the plain old Gibson stock wiring. Alright, so I didn't show you all the soldering and stuff, but got it all back together, got fished in all the pots, the switch, pickup. Also picked up a Bigsby B6. Thought it was going to look pretty sweet on this guitar. I think it does. Yeah, see how it turns out. Did have to drill a few extra holes. They didn't quite line up with the old tailpiece. Alright, going to throw the strings back on here. Went ahead and put the old strings on first. Remember, with the Bigsby, you got to kind of tweak those strings. They wrap around the Bigsby there. And so I went ahead and put the old strings on first because I wanted to do something with this bridge. This is a floating bridge on this guitar. So I went down and played it, got it all intoned. When that bridge moves around, that changes the intonation. So what I decided to do with this, since this guitar will probably be having some string bending going on and some little bit heavier playing, I wanted to pin this bridge, which is actually, I have a Gretsch setzer that is pinned as well. And the way I did that, first off, after it was intoned, I wanted to mark things out with some tape there so that the bridge is going to be exactly where I want it now that it's intoned. And then again, back to taking things apart again. In quick order, we got everything apart, and now with the bridge off, you can see where the bridge is going to be. And the way the Gretsch setzer is done with some little metal threaded set screws, which I decided I would try to copy how they did it. Yeah, I drill some holes underneath the bridge. I'll thread those in. Then I'll have some holes drilled on the bottom of the bridge that they'll just set on those studs. You'll see here in just a second. There's another risky business, drilling some holes in a guitar, but you can see there's one stud. I left it sticking out by a couple threads. Go ahead and drill the other one since the first one worked so well. Get that installed. And what you'll see now is I have two studs that stick out of the guitar that will be underneath the bridge. But what I'll have to do is drill a couple holes so that when that sets on there, you will not see the studs, and it'll hold that bridge in place, keep it from moving around. What I found the best way to do this was to just set it back over the tape marks and kind of wiggle it back and forth and grind some impressions into the bottom of the rosewood. You see here how that turned out. Now I know exactly where to drill some holes. And of course, these holes are only going to be very shallow, just enough for the studs to set in place there. Did take a little bit of drilling and adjusting, wallering out the holes a little bit to where they actually fit on those studs. But as you see, when it was all done, that bridge fits on those studs. And now with some string bending or aggressive playing, that bridge will not move. It will stay put. I used to have another Gretsch that was not pinned, and that bridge did slide around. Alright, so there she is. It's getting ready to be strung up with the new strings, and this is the final product. It's a Herb Ellis ES165. Now it's a ES165 Plus, which has the second pickup, three-way switch, volume and tone control, which everything I've seen is exactly like an ES175, with the exception of that signature there, which I don't think I'm going to scrape off. But there you have it.